Hello guys, I'm back. My name is Jefferson Costa. I'm a chemical process engineer with expertise in plant design, and today I will share with you what is my routine as a chemical process engineer working with plant design. And just to let you know, I'm in a company, an energy company, and this company is a holding that are responsible for three groups that has different products and different process. So one of them is the production of biomethane from landfill, and the other one is responsible for extracting and transporting natural gas from wells, and the third group is responsible for producing biomass from is producing energy from biomass. But as I am from the engineering team, we are responsible for overviewing all of these plants, and I will talk to you a little bit more about that. And of course, that the routine depends on the company that you are, the department that you are, but what I will share with you here is very common activities in any companies, in any department. So I think that it will clarify the kinds of activities that you will face as a chemical process engineer. And of course, I always like to know where you come from. So let me know in the chat where you come from. And to save time to people that are watching us, I will answer to the questions in the end of this live session, in order that if you are interested to do any question, you can type in the chat, and I will review in the end, and we can try to clarify any kind of issues. And just before starting, let me invite you to join my Telegram channel in process, because there I share almost daily my experience as a chemical process engineer. So I share videos, I share the links to my LinkedIn, I share many audios, in order that most often when I receive any kind of question, I record the audio and let available that in my Telegram channel. And if you are interested to know more about chemical process engineering and plant design, you can access also my website, jeffersoncosta.com, and you will find the links for all my social media and for training and etc. So this is it. And to start with this topic, I did a short list here of the activities that I performed this week. We are starting the year, so in this full week, I did some routine activities that may change a little bit from one week to another, but mainly it is what I do and what you probably will do if you work with plant design. So the first thing is that if you think that the life of the chemical process engineer is doing calculation all the time, forget about that. And calculation was which I last did in this last week. And it is because the main activities, or the activities that took most of my time, was doing meetings. And I am not only responsible for the plant design. We are a team with 3 process engineers. We have a consultant, external consultant. I am the process engineer for biomethane plants, and I have also a junior engineer that I support and training him and something like that. And my position in the company is also for looking for the improving in the process. So I must evaluate what are needed to improve the performance of the biomethane plants, also the extraction and transporting of the natural gas. And also I didn't get in touch with the team related to the biomass, but in the near future, this year, I will need to visit them and understand better, to propose or to map which kind of improvements it is needed. And because of that, I need to be aware about everything what happens in the operation. So daily I have a operating meeting. It's around 1 hour where we discuss how it was the operations of each unit, if it was any kind of safety issues, and what are the problems related to delivering a product, or what are the problems related to the production of our products and stuff like that. And this is one kind of activity or information that the chemical process engineer must be aware and updated in order to propose new solutions and evaluate solutions also. And I will talk a little bit more about that during this presentation. So one of my activities in chemical process engineering plant design in this company is to follow up the operations activities, and that is very important because based on that I will be able to evaluate how to propose solutions to increase the plant performance. But I am not only responsible for the operations and following up the operations, I am also the process engineer for plant design and itself, because we have an engineering department, and although I do the function of the plant efficiency also, my main base is the plant engineering, and because of that I am developing some project to the company. And what is very important to the plant design and the project in itself in a whole point of view is control the time, the cost, and the schedule. And to talk about the schedule, I have meetings with the planner. So I need to deliver the pipe instrumentation diagram. I need to review quotation related to instrumentation. I need to review supplier drawings, and all of that is mapped in a schedule. And the responsible for building the schedule is the planner, but she needs to do the updates for the project and for the project manager and also for the director. And because of that we need to discuss how these activities are proceeding, forwarding, in order that she can increases the percentage of the completion of the activity. So because of that I have some meetings, and of course that each project has its own schedule, and depending on the phase of the project we will have more updates or less updates, and this is it. Right now in one of the projects we are already finished the basic engineering. We are contracting a detail engineering outside of the company, and I need to review the basic engineering in order to make sure that we will not have any kind of change order, and with that increase the price that was already delayed or already agreed with the supplier. And that's very important because between contracting the detail engineering and starting effectively the detail engineering, sometimes there are a gap of time, and it can be 1, 2 or 3 months or more than that. And just before starting the detail engineering we need to deliver the documentation to the design company, to the detailing company. We must be sure that all documentation that we will be addressing to them is up to date. So that's why I'm reviewing the pipe instrumentation diagram. I'm reviewing the process data sheets, line lists, instrumentation and automation lists also, to make sure that the detailing company has all that are needed to finish the detailing. And that leads, just a moment. So, but I have other meetings also, and there are a lot of meetings to that I am involved. And another meeting is with the procurement team. And why we need to meeting with the procurement is because we usually we do the process data sheet, and depending on the company, we do also the specification data sheet. We send the procurement team, and the procurement will address that to a supplier. For instance, I need to buy a pressure safety valve for my process. I did the specification, I sent to the procurement, and procurement has a list of suppliers, so he sends the email with the specification, and sometime later the companies return with a quotation. But the procurement don't have the enough skill to evaluate if what was proposed by the supplier is matching, or it fits what is in the specification. So because of that, we receive the technical part of the quotation. A quotation has two parts, the commercial part and the technical part, and depending on the size of the system that we are quoting, the supplier join that in just one document, or it can be splitted. Usually when we have high amount of money involved, we from the technical part are not will not be the price is not revealed to us, to don't have any kind of interferences in the selection and in the evaluation. But for a small piece of equipment like PSVs, that usually comes from just one document, so we can evaluate not only technically but also the price of the piece of the equipment. And because of that, I'm doing some technical evaluation of the quotation of not only instruments but also control valves and also equipments. And I need to, once I finish my evaluation, I need to address that to the procurement in order that it is forwarded to the suppliers. And we say that is approved, or it is approved with comment, or eventually we not approve, but we send some kind of ask for clarification. And when this kind of working process is finished, the procurement will open will do I forgot how to say that in English, but they will buy the piece of equipment that are needed to the process. So because of that, I need to do some meetings with the procurement team, because I need to clarify to them what is happening, what's not happening. And this is one of the activities that you will be involved if you work with plan design. Another kind of meetings that you should have during your plan design life is meetings with suppliers. And during the quotation, not necessarily you will be in touch with the supplier, because the specification is already very clear and something like that. But when you are selecting new technologies for your plant, necessarily you will talk to suppliers in order to understand the benefits, the requirements, and etc. And I am having a lot of these discussions these days, because we are dealing with new opportunities. In these opportunities, I need to evaluate what is the best technology that we need to select to be able to match the regulation requirement. And because of that, I am setting some meetings. And it is where it is very important to know how to communicate in English, because I know if you already know, but I am from Brazil. The company is from Brazil, but many technologies is not from Brazilian suppliers. They are from Europe, from America, and I am having discussions with people from Germany. I have discussion with people in the US. So if you don't know how to communicate in English, it's very hard, or it's an advantage that you have compared to other candidates to the plan design position. And that's why it's very, very important to you look for that. And in this kind of meetings, we discuss what is the requirements, what are the expectations. We must set the schedules, and we need to inform what are the utilities available. And with this, we want to have a quotation with that will add as less comments as possible, because the comments take times during this period of negotiation. And I always encourage you to talk to the suppliers once you did the specification. For instance, we are discussing the installation of a dehydration unit in one of our plants, and I did the specification. I sent the specification for the suppliers, and once I did that, I set sets of meetings in order to discuss with them what were the requirements and what the obstacles or the limitations that we have to install this kind of system. So up to this point, so I have a lot of meetings, as I told you, and we need to have meetings with operations, meetings with planners, meets with procurement, meets with suppliers, and all of this is part of the chemical process engineer routine when we are working in plan design department. And another kind of activities that I told you was about quotation review. So we not only do the heating material balance, do the process simulation, process data sheet, but once the result of all of these activities is a specification to buy something. And to buy something, we need to evaluate first if what suppliers is giving to us is according to our expectations and requirements. So we need also, it is part of the chemical process engineer routine, do the review or comments of quotation related to instrumentation, pressure safety devices, and the equipment. Right now I have a vessel separator, and we did the specification. We added a drawing as reference for the manufacturing of the vessel, but when we received the drawing for construction, it is not don't have it was not designed as we wanted. It was not designed as recommended, and I need to review, add comments, address to the specification, and that takes a lot of time, because if we approve a document that doesn't fit our process, the supplier will construct as the approved drawing, and when we reach that in the field, we will have a lot of problems, because we will not be able to perform as expected, or sometimes we will not be able to install the equipment because it was not constructed as it should be. And one of the activities that I'm doing also is the revision, as I told you, the revision of the documentation of the process, and specifically for the pipe instrumentation diagram, I recorded audio this week for the in-process members of my Telegram. Because of the operations comments, I needed to change a little bit the design of the plant, because they asked us, or asked the engineering to let available the bypass of some equipments, because we had two heat exchangers in series. One was a shell tube heat exchanger, the other one was an electrical one, responsible only for adding the remaining heat needed to get the temperature that we need. And now we are adding a third heat exchanger, and our expectation, or the system now was designed to need only the two shell tube heat exchanger, and the electrical one will be turned off during normal operations. So now that we have two exchangers to do the pre-heating, it makes sense to be able to have bypass valve, in order that if I need to do the cleaning of one of them, I still have the electrical heater to add the remaining, or to add the heat that are needed to get the operating temperature. So, but when I do this kind of arrangement, I need to evaluate how to do the isolation of the equipment. And once I'm doing the isolation of a heating equipment, I need to make sure that I will not have any kind of issue related to overpressurization. And as in the previously, I was not considering isolation valve from these equipments. Only one pressure safety valve was enough to keep the system safe. But now that I have isolations through these equipments, I need to install more pressure safety devices, and because of that, I need to do other specifications related to process safety to PSVs, and I will need to do other quotations. But not only that, I need to review the instrumentation list, I need to review the manual valve list, I need to review the instrumentation and automation list of set points, and etc. So anytime that you do a modification in an existing drawing, that leads to more work than you can imagine. It was not needed to change anything in the heating material balance, but in the deliverables, in the process engineer deliverables, there are a lot of changes, because we did a change in the design. So be aware of that when operations tells you to add one more valve to your process. You need to make sure that what are the documentation that must be reviewed, in order that in an inspection or in an assessment, everything is okay, and you will not have any kind of trouble. And that's very, very important, because if an accident happens, there will be a lot of argumentation that if you had the documentation up to date, that could prevent the event or something like that. So always remember that we deal with hazards process, and the hazard can be related to pressure, to temperature, to the composition of the streams, and we always want to keep the people safe and everything at the right conditions. And others activities that you may face during your life as a chemical process engineer in working with plant design is looking for new technologies, and sometimes your seniors or your managers will ask you to do some kind of presentation to them, and it is what I am working right now. I need to look for new technologies, and not only look for, I need to do a presentation in order that the board understand better which kind of technology is suitable or is better for the company, and it will be very, very similar to the one that I did for the hydration technologies. You can find the presentation that I did related to the hydration technology. Now I need to look for the sweetenings technologies for biomethane production, and once I have them finished, probably I will share with you here in my YouTube channel. But what I would like to highlight here is that we are always studying, and we are always getting more knowledge in order to be able to perform our tasks as chemical process engineer. So I start with Google, I look for papers, I look for references, books, and etc. in order that I can be able to evaluate what are the technologies available in the markets and etc. And that is the starting point, to have an overview what is available in the market, and after that we can develop the specification and talk with some companies in order that they can send to us the quotation, and we do a funnel, or we have many options, and we are reducing the options up to we choose the best one, and we in some months, some weeks, we can install that in the field and see that running. So this is one of the activities that I have as the chemical process engineer. And of course, as we deal with operations, and as the daily life is very dynamic, we need to handle the troubleshooting. We are having troubleshooting to solve during the daily operation daily, and to solve the troubleshooting, we need to be able to interpret, and we need to be able to get the data, and also to interpret the data in order that we can evaluate if the compliance or the complaints of the operations is right or not. For instance, this week we have a heat exchanger, and according to the operation supervisor, the pressure drop was too high, and he asked us to evaluate that. So I got the support of my junior engineer, and what we need to evaluate was the pressure upstream of the equipment, the pressure downstream of the equipment, and also the fluid through the process, because of course that once we increase the flow, it's expected that we will increase the pressure drop through the system. But we are only able to do this kind of evaluation if you have some trains available to you, and if you know how to build or how to set the trains that are available to you. And I asked the junior engineer to do the trains, so he did a story, 3 months history, and we evaluated that at normal flow conditions, or at lower flow conditions, we had a perfil, or we had a behavior, and once the flow of the system was increasing, the pressure drop was increasing also, and that makes all the sense that there was any kind of trouble, any kind of issue related to what is happening in the operations. And most often there will be some kind of issue related to the process, and if you are the process engineer of the plant, you will need to evaluate that and make some conclusions in order to make sure that, okay, it is an issue, it is really an issue, no, it is not an issue, it is something that is inherent to the process, or okay, we have an issue, but we have time to solve and we will discuss and we will evaluate and we will propose new solutions to solve this kind of situation. So as you can see, this week I didn't do any kind of process simulation. I was not needed to do that. It was more related to talk to people, and the most of time of your career, probably you will be in touch with people, and that's why I always recommend you to improve your skills and your social skills. And this was one of my message in the 2021 for you. And not only that, sometimes the schedule is very tight, very short, and as we deal with different people, they have different behaviors, and the stress of your work can be very high sometimes, and there is peaks of stress, and that's why I always recommend you also to improve your inner self. Okay, guys? So of course, that why when I start a new project, I will return doing process simulation. I will return to develop process flow diagrams. But in the structure of the company that I am working, we are a production company that has an engineering design and engineering department, and this engineering department is responsible not only for the projects but also support the operations. So this is the characteristics of the company that I work to. And if you are in an EPC company, sometimes you don't have direct interface with your operations. You will be more restricted for the development of engineering documentation, but in the same way you will have a lot of meetings, because the project manager must be sure that the scope of the scope of the project is being followed. If there is any kind of misunderstanding related to the customer requirements and what we are developing, you need to evaluate. If you are doing a brownfield project, you do the site survey and evaluate if the documentation that you received is up to date or not. So although you are more focused on doing the engineering delivery, you always need to do some kind of interface, and it can be with the customer, but also it can be with the other discipline. And when we are developing a project, we have a lot of interface with the mechanical, with the instrumentation, with the automation guy, and with the process safety engineer. And that's why very important to improve the social skills. So this is it. And if you have any question, I will be here with some minutes to answer you. And very nice to starting the 2021 talking to you. So we have people from Nigeria. We should follow as for normal design recommendation of distillation. I didn't understand your question, AS. And Navi, how common is it to have flex hour at the workplace? That's a very interesting question. Before the pandemic, my time was from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So in Brazil, we work around 8 hours, and we have 1 hour for lunch. And it is from Monday to Friday, and usually Saturday, if some companies works on Saturday, half an hour, so 4 hours instead of 8 hours. And on Sunday, usually we don't work, and it considering the administrative working time. But now that we are in the pandemic, right now I am 100% home office, and to control the time that we are working and time that we are not working is more difficult, because anytime I can receive a WhatsApp, and we have Microsoft Teams meetings, and if you are late in the schedule, we have the resources at your home to try to solve that. And in fact, I believe that I work much more in my home than I work when I go to the office. But in the other hand, I can avoid the time expended with the transportation, and in my special case, I take 2 hours to go to the office and 2 hours to return from the office. So although I'm working much more in my home, as I really love what I do, I don't care too much about that. In my point of view, I need to do what must be done to have the job done, and that, for me, sometimes I open my computer at the Sunday, and I starting developing some engineering documentation. And for me, it's very nice, because as much more I'm working, I learn more, and I have much more to share with you guys. And for me, that's not an issue. Okay. We have another question here. Samir, will you please me which software we should learn for design and simulation? That's a very nice question. When you are in a company already, you must learn the software that the company has. For instance, if they have Aspen HiSys, you will use Aspen HiSys. If they have a Symmetry from Schlumberger, you will use Symmetry or Unison or etc. But considering that you don't have a job yet, there are some options that you can do to learn process simulation. One of them is the DWSim. It's for free, and at least you will understand how is the working process of a process simulation. But if you have the chance to learn some process simulation, I recommend you to learn the Aspen HiSys. Many companies ask for this process simulation, but if you have access to others, it's not a problem. It's important to you understand how is the process, or how the process simulation works. And once you understand from one of them, your curve of learning to another one will be much more faster. And what really matters is what you are doing. So if you are doing a piping sizing, you must to know the fundamentals in order to evaluate the results of the process simulation. If you are doing the sizing of a pump, you need to know the fundamentals to understand if the results of the process simulation is correct or not. So this is my recommendation to you. And of course, there are many ways to do the first steps in process simulation. You have the many YouTube channels, including mine. You have blogs, you have books available, and training courses, and etc. Okay. So please make a video of process equipment design. I am considering that, Yash, and 2021 you will have much more available in my YouTube channel. Okay. And of course that it takes time. I still working, as you can see, I still working. So 9 to 10 hours of my life is dedicated to my job, and I am also married, so I need to dedicate some time to my family. And besides that, I have a mentoring program, and I need to record videos to them. And besides that, I have a commitment to do free material to be available on the internet. I have the Telegram channel in process that I also address attention to that. So I have too many activities to fit to my day, and sometimes I don't have time to everything, okay? But I will consider doing more videos related to equipment design. Fatima, which country is best in Europe to pursue master chemical engineer? I think that is master. Fatima, I think if you are looking for an opportunity to Europe to do a master degree, it's probably because you want to work abroad. And in my point of view, it's my personal point of view, you should look for a master degree that allows you to have the best job opportunities. For instance, if you are looking for working to research and development, try to evaluate in which country in the Europe there are more companies related to research and development, and try to apply to a Master of Science there, because you will have more options to apply your resume. On the other hand, if you want to work with plan design, look for countries that have as many as possible design companies, because it doesn't make sense. Let's suppose that you go to, for instance, to Portugal to do a master in chemical engineering, and you want to work with plan design, but there is no plan design offices in Portugal, and there is for instance, okay, in Germany. Instead of doing a master in Portugal, you should do a master in Germany, because you will be already there. You will be a chance to have networking with people that already work with the plan design offices, and etc. So everything will depend on your objective. The Master of Science should not be a goal, should be, in my point of view, okay, should be a meaning or a mean to you reach your goal, that is get a job in the field that you want to. Okay, guys, any more questions? Very, very nice to be with you here. In some minutes, in 15 minutes, I will be a speaker to an event that will be presented to Angola. So in this event, I will talk in Portuguese, and if you are a Portuguese speaker and are interested to know more about chemical process engineering, or to watch this presentation that I will be doing to Angola people, you are invited to join us. Let me I will let the link to it will be made on Zoom, okay? It will not be opened in my YouTube. I will let the link available in the description of this video if you want to be there with us. And thanks a lot. I hope you like this video, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.